And we are rolling.
Hello, everybody.
I love how, like, 2 minutes ago we were super hyper recording TikToks, and now it's like, and we are rolling.
Because this is where we get
Hello, and welcome to Love Has No Limits with your hosts, Seth. Why have I put, like, a fake American accent on?
I don't know what's going on right now.
I'm like the most British person ever. I'm like, with your hosts, Sam
This is not
and Monica.
Oh, and then you run in with, like, the gloves. You don't know what I'm talking about.
No,
Okay.
I've got
Never
no clue.
mind.
But anyway,
Hi.
yes. Hello. How are you doing,
We are
darling?
back. It's been over a week since we've done a podcast.
It has. It has actually.
Good, not very good.
Well, what we were thinking is we upload on our YouTube channel, Sam and Monica, pretty much every weekend.
Yeah.
Well, every weekend that we have actual good content to show you guys, because we don't really want to upload for no reason. So we thought we don't want to kind of double up every weekend, so we'll start uploading our podcast kind of midweek.
Yeah.
So that's the plan moving forward. Anyway, today's episode is on everything to do with a long distance relationship, or even if you're not in a long distance relationship and your relationship has been affected by the current kind of pandemic and you know, all the stuff that's going on in the world. Yeah, if you haven't seen your partner, your husband, your wife, your fiance, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is in a while, whether that's because of a long distance relationship or because of the current situation, we've come up with basically a quick list of 5 tips on how to help close a distance and kind of navigate I said distance, didn't I?
I was trying so not to laugh.
how to kind of help to kind of break the distance and basically navigate a long distance relationship and make sure it works out in the long run.
And keep it alive, because obviously when you're not seeing your partner for a while, you know, it's not an ideal situation. So this is how to keep it alive, keep things interesting, and keep it a little bit spicy, if you know what I mean.
Keep it a little bit spicy. This isn't one for the PG.
I can't. Okay, so let's just get right into this.
Let's get right into it. So firstly, I think we're somewhat qualified to answer this question.
Yeah.
Because we have actually, how weird is this? We have been talking for about 5 years now. And dating, we've been dating officially just under 5 years. We've been engaged almost a year. Our wedding is actually next June, which is going to be really awesome, 2021. But 5 years of pretty much long distance.
Yeah.
How weird is that?
It is insane, isn't it?
So just to kind of give you guys a bit of a backstory, if you don't know about us, we're Sam and Monica. My name's obviously Monica. I'm joking. My name's Sam. I was just wondering what your reaction would be. So I live in Cheshire in England, in the United Kingdom.
I live in New York.
Yes.
And we've been doing long distance. So again, we're not professionals when it comes to relationships. However, we have a lot of experience navigating a long distance relationship. So that's why we've come up with these top 5 points. So hopefully it can help you guys. So without any further ado, let's go with number 1. Tip number 1.
Is it further ado or further ado?
Further ado.
Without
further ado.
I thought people in the UK say further ado.
What are you saying?
Further ado. Without further ado.
A Jew?
Yeah. No! Not A-J-E-W. Like,
no, I'm saying A-D-U. A Jew?
I don't know how it's spelled, but I'm pretty sure people
pronounce A-D-O. Further ado.
Yeah, but I think
it's just your accent. Anyways.
I don't know. Can someone clarify that, please? Like, message us on social media or email us or something. By the way, our email, if you want to kind of write into the show, if you've got a cool story about your relationship or you want some advice, you want to give us advice or whatever, is lovehasnolimitspodcast@gmail.com.
Okay, so let's finally get into the point.
Let's do this. Okay, sorry, I blathered, don't I?
Okay.
We're having fun.
Tip number 1. Communication is literally key. I know a lot of people always say, they're like, oh, communication's key. But, like, it actually is.
Who
like,
says communication's
No, like, I feel
key?
like it's just, like, one of those, like, things where it's just like, oh, yeah, they always say communication's key. But it literally is so key, especially for, like, long-distance couples. Because if you're not communicating, you're obviously not seeing each other, then where's the relationship? Like, how are you actually going to continue this relationship?
Really, really simple. There's nothing more to it than communication.
Yeah, except the thing with the communication that we definitely have to point out is you don't want to over-communicate. Definitely. I have had so many messages from people saying, oh, like, me and my boyfriend, we video chat for, like, 12 hours a day, and, like, we just stay on, and, like, even when we're sleeping, we keep it on.
I mean, if it works for some people, then it works. But for the majority of people, us included, we want to just kind of catch up throughout the day. You know, we both have our own work to do. We have our own friendship groups, have our own hobbies, all that kind of stuff. So we catch up for maybe, 5 or 10 minutes during the day, and then we have like a 20-minute, half an hour kind of FaceTime or a Skype call or whatever it is in the evening. Well, my evening, you're kind of like 5 p.m. Because she's 5 hours behind me. But That does it for us, doesn't it?
Yeah,
You don't want to overdo it.
Yeah, because if you do, then you're not really going to have much to talk about. And then, you want to keep things interesting. You want to have updates, but you won't have any updates if you're constantly talking all day long. So that's just something that we would also
And
suggest.
you've got to kind of retain your own identity, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got to
You have to be
retain, you've got to live
independent in
your
a
own
way.
life.
Exactly.
At the end of the day.
So that is tip number 1. Communication is key.
Number 2 is, so obviously this kind of ties partly into number 1, but it's you've got to stay up to date and kind of involved in each other's lives. So, figure out what's your boyfriend or girlfriend or partner's family doing? What's the kind of latest news of that? What's their job situation looking at right now? What's the latest news of their friends? Have they fallen out with anyone recently? Has one of their friends got engaged or married?
Yeah, the low-key gossip type of stuff.
Yeah, whatever it is, like just stay up to date in each other's lives and know what's going on in each other's lives. And that opens up more conversation topics, doesn't it,
Exactly.
as
It gives
well?
you a lot more to talk about.
Like if you just catch up for maybe 20 minutes, half an hour a day, and then the next day you're like, oh, so what happened with this? And what happened with this?
Yeah.
And you're just kind of staying up to date, aren't you?
Exactly. So that is tip number 2. Tip number 3. Okay. You got to keep the relationship exciting. So there's a lot of ways you could keep the relationship exciting.
100%.
What Sam and I used to do is we would send each other, not send each other, but we would have virtual dates online. So we would meet each other.
You're going to say send each other nudes, weren't you?
No! Oh my god. Absolutely not. I advise against that. However, we will get into that topic a few minutes. But no, we would meet each other in Club Penguin World. I know this sounds crazy, but we would literally go on Club Penguin and we would meet with each other and have little virtual dates there and play little games like that. I know it sounds really ridiculous.
That's
but it was so fun.
Well, that was 5 years ago, wasn't it? Now
that was
that's
3
kind
days ago, yeah.
Shh, we're not meant to tell anybody. No, I'm joking. I think Club Penguin closed down 2 or 3 years ago. Is it back?
It's back, y'all.
Oh my gosh, we're so having a snowball
Why
fight
do you
when you
think
go
I'm
back to
going
America. But that's kind of our old kind of Club Penguin days of staying in touch on there, and me getting banned for saying a curse word or whatever it was.
Oh,
That's kind of translated and kind of evolved into us kind of playing video games together between PlayStation and Xbox. And, just think outside the box, keep it fresh, keep it exciting. We've done so many different kind of dates where we'd go to the supermarkets together. Obviously, Monica would go in America, I would go in the UK. We'd FaceTime the whole time, pick out some ingredients, cook together, obviously in our respective kitchens, and then watch the same movie together over Skype or whatever it is.
Yeah, like a little dinner
I think
movie
there's a Chrome extension called Netflix Party, is it?
Something like that, yeah.
And I think there's a website called Rabbit as well. RABBIT.
Apparently that doesn't really work that much anymore.
Oh, really?
Someone said. I'm not sure though.
We've actually never used those. Honestly, what we do is the simple manual way is we just we FaceTime on our phones. We set that up on a tripod to face at the TV so we can figure out at what point in the movie we are at. And then we just sync it. We just do the whole 3, 2, 1, go method.
Yeah.
And it works.
Which is the most simple one.
So we do that. I surprised Monica by sending her flowers. Flowers deliveries. You can deliver flowers to your partner for $20 next day delivery.
Or even if there's just something on Amazon I've sent you before, you just send a little thing that's reminds you of them.
Monica
just, a cute
at the
decoration
moment,
or something.
Monica at the moment is obsessed with Baby Groot.
Oh my gosh, I love him so much.
From Guardians of the Galaxy.
I literally love you.
She's
Groot.
obsessed with him. So I've bought her a Groot keychain, a mug. She's got an AirPods case, a bunch of cute stuff, a t-shirt, stuff like that. And it just kind of keeps things fresh and exciting, doesn't it?
This isn't to do with obviously a relationship, but my sister, I haven't seen her since February because I've been stuck in the UK. But with her, we went back and forth sending each other gifts, and she's the one who actually sent me that Groot t-shirt. So we just did things to be hey, I miss you kind of thing, and just send over a little thing just to show that you're missing them. But also, like you were saying.
Yeah, so we are not advising for you guys to send cheeky pictures to each other in videos if that's what you'd want to do. Obviously, a lot of people in long-distance relationships do, but, just be careful is all we're saying. You never know how the relationship is going to end up in the future. You don't know if it could potentially affect your job, get sent to family members as blackmail. There's so many horrible things that can arise out of it. So if you are going to do stuff like that, take precautions. But, there are safe ways to have some fun.
I'm going to be honest. That definitely 100% does keep the relationship exciting, alive, fun. It is something that you can talk about with your partner if that's something you're
Get on a
comfortable.
phone call.
Yeah, even if it's just late at night, you shut the lights off, you're on the phone, hey, I'm thinking about you today. Get all seductive voice
That's exactly
going.
what you do, actually. I'm Monica calls me. It's like 5 a.m. my time. I'm like, Monica, why are you calling me at 11 p.m. your time? She's like, I've been thinking about you today.
What? I just need to disclaimer that has never happened in my lifetime.
Ever does that,
I don't have the confidence to do that voice. But I feel like we should definitely talk about this in a full video. If you guys would love us to do a video where we talk about like intimacy,
and if you want us to be more open about this kind of stuff, we're more than happy to. Like we actually did a podcast with our buddy Joey Kidney. He's got a really cool podcast that you should check out, or just YouTube his name, Joey Kidney. But we actually did kind of a naughty. I was going to say a naughty video, but that comes across wrong. A completely safe, fully clothed video talking about cheeky stuff with Joey, and just kind of discussing
questions that people have, intimate questions.
Yeah, intimacy in a relationship. Intimate. Like, obviously, guys, at the end of the day, our target viewer is 18 to 24 years old. We know you guys are sexually active. So if you want us to talk about that kind of stuff, we're more than happy to.
He said it. he just said it out loud.
I just kind of said it.
But yeah, if you guys want us to do a full video on that type of topic, please either send me a DM on Instagram or just email us, because that is definitely something that we're open to doing. So that is another way to keep the relationship alive. The fourth point is you need to make sure that you show your partner how much you care and that they can trust you, because trust is such an important aspect of a relationship.
And trust is earned. Yeah, it's not given automatically.
Exactly. If you don't trust your partner, then what? Like, what is going to happen with your relationship if neither of you can trust each other? You're always going to be on edge. You're always going to think something's going on. Yeah. Like, you need to show each other that you can trust one another.
Relationships are quite literally built on communication and trust.
Yeah.
That is the absolute foundations of every successful relationship.
Yeah. So you need to try to show them like how much you really care about them and what you're willing to do for this relationship, and put in the equal amount of effort, because that's super important. If one of you is the only one who's, texting all day or doing something or whatever, you have to realize that a relationship is not a one-way street. It's a two-way street. You got to work together and make sure that, you're open with each other and showing each other that you can trust each other, because without trust, you literally will have nothing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So that was number 4. Moving on to number 5, just to kind of wrap things up. So the last and final point, number 5, is if you have an argument. I know we've talked about this so many times on our YouTube channel. I think we talked about it on our podcast as well. But this is probably if not one of the most important points to me particularly, is if you have a little spat, if you have a tiff, if you have an argument, whatever you want to call it, if you have a falling out over whatever it is, big or small, make sure you resolve it as soon as possible. Yeah. Monica and I have kind of got a rule, an unwritten kind of unsaid rule in our relationship. We've never kind of said it to each other, but we always make sure that any conflicts are resolved by the end of the day. Because Monica, you are such a sensitive person, aren't you? And I absolutely love it about you. You're such an empath as well. But you just wouldn't sleep if we had unresolved conflicts.
Oh, absolutely not. I'm going to be up all night long.
Yeah.
But whereas you are on the opposite side, so you don't really have as much emotion as I do. So you're okay with going to sleep, but I feel like you've gotten more emotional. So
I've become more. I don't think I've become more emotional. I just think I've become more open and kind of.
No, you've definitely got more emotional.
Empathetic towards your own feelings, I think.
No, you've definitely also gotten more emotional within the past 2 years. Yeah. So
would you say that's a good thing?
That's an amazing thing. Yes.
I used to literally just have no emotions. No emotion.
Yeah, it was kind of scary.
Like I felt happy and I felt kind of sad sometimes and stuff, but I don't think I ever showed my emotions. Did I really?
Not really. No. So. Yeah, that's something that's so important. We always resolve it, because when you're in a long distance relationship, it's so easy to just get mad and then hang up the phone and then
not talk and just blank them for days, hours, days, not fair. Weeks.
You can't do that to each other. It's going to take such a toll on your relationship. It's so much healthier for both of you guys if you just talk it out, resolve it. And I know that's going to be hard, because you're obviously when you get in a fight, you don't really want to talk to that person at the time, but you really have to work together and resolve it. Like, especially if sorry, what were you saying?
I was just going no, you can continue. I was just going to go on to something else.
I was going to say, especially if say your boyfriend is going out with a group of friends and there's a girl that makes you uncomfortable because maybe they had a history or something like that. Don't just get mad at him for hanging out with the girl. Talk to him. Say, it makes me uncomfortable that you're hanging out with her, or, I'd rather you not, or whatever you wanted to say to him. But you need to talk that kind of stuff out, because if you don't talk about what makes you uncomfortable, what makes you upset, you're just going to bottle up all the emotions again, and there's going to be an even bigger fight. So whenever something is just bothering you, no matter how big or small, talk about it. Get it off your chest. Resolve it together, and, things will work out.
Yeah, and the way I like to kind of think of it is... Okay, what I want you guys to do is grab your phone and hold it out with your arms stretched out in front of you. Picture every 10 seconds is a different argument with your partner, okay? So for the first 10, 20, 30, 40 seconds, it's pretty easy. So the weight of kind of 4 arguments, it doesn't really bother you that much. Once you get to holding your arm out for 5 minutes, even though your phone weighs barely anything, there's so much pain there. It hurts so much, and it's so much kind of stress on your muscles and stuff, because you've been carrying that weight for so long.
Yeah.
And, by the 5-minute mark, for example, you could have 30 different arguments for, in this little kind of metaphor kind of thing. But it's just basically what I'm trying to say is that the weight of the arguments they'll build up and build up and build up, and the tension will build up and build up and build up until it becomes unbearable and you drop the phone, or in the case of the relationship, you end the relationship.
Yeah. So just talk about things. As soon as you feel uncomfortable or upset about something, talk it out. There's no problem with that. Even if you know it's going to start an argument, like you're not arguing, but that will.
It's better to have a small kind of argument or an awkward conversation now versus breaking up in a year's time, because everything's built up.
So just talk it out. Talk it out. You got this.
So as a real quick kind of rundown of the 5 points. Number 1, communication is key. So speak every day for at least a few minutes. Don't overdo it, obviously, unless you're both happy with that. Number 2 is stay up to date in each other's lives. Just kind of, know what's going on in each other's lives. Number 3 is keep the relationship exciting and fresh, whether that's surprising each other, flying over or driving over, surprising each other.
Gifts.
Yeah, having virtual dates, sending flowers, keeping
having
it
that
a bit
late
cheeky.
Night phone call.
Whatever it is, and if you're okay with sending pictures and videos, and you fully trust your partner, and you know that nothing is ever going to happen with that content that you send them, stuff like that can be ways you spice it up. Number 4 is make sure your partner knows how much you care about them and that they can trust you. Trust is earned, it's not given automatically. And living potentially thousands, tens of thousands of miles away from each other, or 10,000, 5,000, 3,000, whatever it is, away from each other, you've got to kind of constantly reassure, especially certain personality types, that you still care about them and that you're still interested in them and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
you have to show that.
Just kind of take your partner's feelings and kind of thoughts into consideration and stuff. Even if you're not a super emotional person, like I'm not personally myself, I don't need the constant reassurance that Monica still kind of loves me and stuff. But Monica, you're much more sensitive. You overthink things a lot more than I do, don't you? So I always make it a point to just say I love you at the end of every phone call and stuff. Number 5 is, if you argue, sort it out before the end of the day.
Yes. So those are our top 5 tips, and we have so many more tips. So I'm sure there'll be a part 2, part 15, part 100 of this type of series. But
yeah, and if you guys agree or even disagree with any of these points, or if you want to add on anything, send us an email, drop us a DM, comment on one of our YouTube videos, whatever it is. We'd really love to hear from you, and we'd love to hear your thoughts, because this isn't us kind of giving you advice. We want this to be a conversation between all of us.
Exactly. And we're still looking for people to come on the show as well. We've been going through all of your emails. So if you would like to be on the Love Has No Limits podcast, then please email lovehasnolimitspodcast@gmail.com, and one of us will get back to you and hopefully get you on the show.
Yeah, that'd be really fun, wouldn't it? Anyway, guys, and if you have any other ideas of stuff you'd like us to talk about, obviously this show isn't just about long-distance relationships. I mean, we have been talking about long-distance relationships mainly just because we're personally in one. But if you guys want to talk about marriage, if you want to talk about just relationships in general, LDRs, if you want to talk about kind of freaky stuff, whatever you want to talk about, we're down.
Even if you have an anonymous question, or you want us to delve into a topic that like most people don't talk about, like literally we can get crazy and talk about like a DDLG, which is a interesting type of topic.
What's it called where everyone dresses up?
Furries.
Like
we
stuff
can
like
literally
that.
just
We'd love to explore that kind
delve
of stuff.
into the whole type of like relationships world. So
we'd love to learn about it.
Let us know what kind of stuff you want us to talk about, and we definitely will. But thank you guys so much for listening. We hope we were able to give some insight on how to make this relationship work.
And we hope this was somewhat entertaining.
Yeah.
And check out our YouTube channel, Sam and Monica. And obviously, personally, I'm at iSam Patterson on everything. Monica's at Monica Gartner on everything. So give us a follow, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
See you in the next podcast.
And remember,
love has no limits.
We need to come up with a proper kind of intro and ending to that, don't we? Okay, bye, guys.